Donald Trump Jr., the president's son, has literally spent his entire adult life trading on his dad's name. That has continued into the presidency, where he wrote a book marketed to MAGA heads everywhere. And the book was published last month, and it debuted at #1 of the New York Times nonfiction bestseller list. But it appeared with this weird little dagger symbol next to it, and that dagger indicates that the book is on the bestseller list, not necessarily because a lot of people are out there buying copies, but also because some entities are buying the book in bulk. The New York Times has a story of just how bulk sales helped propel Donald Trump Jr.'s new book to #1. Over $100,000 spent by the Republican Party and ideologically friendly outfits. Political and investigative reporter Nick Confessore got the scoop, and he joins me now. So, what's the story on bulk purchases and this book?
The story is that we found at least 9 organizations, GOP party committees, candidates, conservative groups, who are either selling the book to donors or promoting stops on Trump's book tour. And either way, it adds up to a massive promotional effort for a first-time author who doesn't hold office and hasn't held office, and for all his talents is still best known as his father's son.
Here's just the line item. The National Republican Congressional Committee spent $75,000 on the copies of the book. The RNC through October, $94,000. And then Turning Point USA had bought about 2,000 copies. The National Republican Senatorial Committee, about 2,500 copies. Just so folks know, like, for the first few weeks of a book, that's an enormous amount of sales. Like, if you did that to any book, you would be pushing it up the list.
Yeah, look, it's no question. I think, he's a Trump, and it's a large book for the imprint. So I think he'd probably be on the bestseller list. He's got a book tour, right?
Yeah.
But the question is, where would he be? And that's not so clear to me. His people say, look, it would be #1 no matter what. But the point is, look, I found 36 million emails sent out to people who are a part of these different groups promoting the book. Now,
that is a lot of publicity.
Political email, that's not that much, but it's a great thing for a first-time author. And you put pretty much any book in 36 million emails, it's going to have a pretty good chance.
My favorite detail, which is in the lead of the article, is that the books are stockpiled at Talking Point USA in the office in boxes. I think we have the photo. And it's underneath a poster that says, if you read it there, it says capitalism, not cronyism.
Yeah. So that picture was sent to me by a person who works there. And there was evidently some confusion in the office as to what the purpose of the book's for. I was later told by Turning Point they plan to hand out copies of the book to VIP ticket holders of their upcoming conference, where Donald Trump Jr. is a headliner and will be signing books.
Now, I think this is hilarious just because it's the world's most famous legacy case, getting a bunch of help from Daddy. But it's also interesting because there's been a kind of cultural transformation among the Republican Party, Republican campaign operations, and ideologically affiliated groups, which is they are spending more and more money at Trump properties. And it's become almost, a thing that I think at one time you would see as like ripping off your own donors has become a kind of sort of habitual part of the culture that everyone just cuts in the Trumps when you're having a big fundraising event for a conservative cause or a Republican candidate.
Absolutely. From the Trump Hotel in Washington to Trump Doral in Florida, to any number of resorts. People who are special interests know if they have business before the administration, hold your event at a Trump property. If you're a foreign country, hold your National Independence Day celebration at a Trump property. Hold your annual holiday party at a Trump property. Everyone understands this is a helpful way to get ahead in Trump's Washington.
We also were told, and I guess it's just worth reminding people this, that there was the big press conference that with a bunch of stacks of paper and his lawyer. It turned out later the paper was blank. It was a prop. That the president wasn't divesting from his businesses, would sort of erect this kind of conceptual barrier between himself and his businesses, and his large adult sons would be the ones running the business while he just took time away from them. But it's very clear to anyone who watches that the two are obviously intermingled in every possible way.
It's hard to keep track, right? So Donald Jr., if he's attacking impeachment witnesses, says I'm a private citizen.
Right. I just run the business.
If he's getting his book sold by the RNC, he's a valued surrogate and political figure for the president. So they seem to inhabit both roles as convenient for them.
Do you think there is any pushback among donors on this arrangement? It seems to me like that's part of what's so interesting here. Most of the places where you're seeing this sort of what I would call kind of soft corruption, or not even soft corruption, just like pay-to-play corruption is with donors' money. It is with the world of people that are being having money raised from them in these circles who are fine with the president or his family getting a cut.
I will say they're fine with it because almost everyone who's getting one of these books through one of these party committees actually clicked on an email saying, yes, I will give you money for a copy of this book.
Right.
So I don't think any donors are being harmed in the making of this book sale. And it's just a fact. I think there is demand for this book. I think donors do want it. And they enjoy what he brings to the table as a Trump surrogate, this whole idea of triggering. He ticks off the right people, and they love that.
That is what conservatism is in 2019. Nick Confessori, thank you so much for joining us. Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.